Yeah, it's the biggest role I've ever played and probably ever will play. It's definitely a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
Yeah, I can't think of another female part.
No. And it's funny, when I saw WMS were doing Evita, I didn't know the show too well. And I went and I did my research, and it was kind of like, I'd love to do that part, so I'll audition and stuff like that. But the more I read into it, the more I got into it before the audition, it was more like, this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing I would dream of doing.
Yeah.
And that's when it kind of hits you. And then when you're actually performing it, it's so daunting.
There's been big parts in the past, but I don't think anything this mammoth before.
Because some of the ones that you've done before would be maybe of characters that wouldn't be as familiar as Shay and the big songs that Shay has.
True, and I think all of them as well they're lovely and divided up between scenes and songs. Yeah. It's not fully sung as all of Evita is.
Yeah.
I mean, the only other time I would have been near that probably would have been Pilot. But again, that's 3 scenes.
Yeah.
Like, big scenes, but you're done.
Well, I know I was at a bit of an advantage from the point of view of having done it before. So it wasn't as if I was learning something completely from scratch. But I suppose I'm more age appropriate to the part now than what I was 10 years ago. Even though, God, I wish what I wouldn't do to be 10 years younger. But I'm almost approximate Bron's age in around the time the events take place. So it's been very enjoyable. And I mean, just being involved in a production here in the Theatre Royal is always very special, and it's lovely to be in the place when it's quiet and you almost have it to yourself for a few minutes and get to walk around the back and look at that amazing wall that's hidden behind the stage at the moment.
Yeah,
and you kind of count your blessings and think, this has been here for 240 years, and you think about all the different brilliant actors and actresses and dancers and child performers who've been on that stage over the years, and you think, God, we get to share this space with the ghosts who've been here before us, and some people recently departed we miss very, very much.
Like, I do like Andrew Lloyd Webber's musicals, that there's some true, because you don't have to worry about dialogue. It's just know your songs and then you're fine. So good man, Andrew.
We're running all night here. I have to be reasonably fit. And there's 2 flights of stairs for the men's dressing room, but we got over that. Yeah, there's a lot of changes, chopping and changes, a lot of. I think I have 5 changes. I think in the first half alone, and 7 in the second half. But hey, we're doing okay. We're getting on with it. It's that kind of a show.
I'm doing what I intended to do, but quite a bit more besides.
How many scenes are you not in this show? Will be a better question. Bearing in mind now it's 1 hour 50. I'd say you're on stage.
I think there's two maybe
scenes
that I'm not in. Yeah.
And
while they're on, there's quick changes generally involved, so there's no time to relax really, but the night certainly flies by.
There's costumes flying everywhere. You don't make it to the changing room, so you're just any little alcove you can find, green room, corridor, steps, stairs, back at the set. It's just...
You wouldn't want to be modest back there?
No, not at all. No. Just, you don't even look, you don't see, you just get dressed.
Like, for instance, I had researched the balcony where she made the speech from, the iconic kind of scene where she's on that balcony. And so the shape of the pillars I have were based on the actual balcony she spoke from.
Wouldn't doubt you.
And likewise then, when you think she had a kind of a state funeral, so we wanted something that had a little bit of opulence. And then there's other scenes then where she's in dingy apartments, and she's also in, say, the streets of Argentina. So we went for the brickwork with that. Also, we thought would kind of sit nice in the theatre. So within those 2 worlds, we tried to achieve everything else.
There's lemon sip and honey above in the dressing room galore, so that's the main thing. Throat lozenges. And then I suppose for the mental aspect of it, I don't know if you think about it too much, you panic.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So at a certain time, you just kind of have to be in the moment for it. So you just have to be ready to go on and just be prepared and switched on.
You literally, like when you do leave the stage, you literally run off, fling another costume on you and run back on, don't you? You don't have time to think.
No.
Like, there's no time for a glass of water. And Asher there singing that song, lovely.
There's no time. There's no time for anything, and thankfully Patrice has been a machine.
As she always is.
As she always is, like, you know, with the quick changes, and Carol with the wig changes, like, they've been amazing. And Robin helping out as well. But it's so funny, like, I just get stuff like thrown on me, and you know, so people say like, how do you do it? And I'm like, I don't do it, they do it.
They do it.
You know?
Yeah, they're amazing people.
Yeah, unreal.
So Shay is a nickname for everyman, basically. So when you have what it was in the original production of Che Guevara, that was Ernesto Guevara was his actual name, but Shay was his nickname, and that was everyman. So I think it was the film originally that kind of went with the concept of, well, let's make him a representative of, he's there all the way through as the people of Argentina. And then stage shows started kind of adapting that.
Yeah, hence even the way you're dressed is very
yes, very Bear and Antonio Banderas, yes.
When I think of Evita, I don't think Don't Cry For Me, I think Buenos Aires.
Okay.
That song.
That's an interesting one.
Do you know, because I'd be looking at it from the dancing side point of view as well. And even when I was learning my own song, I didn't realise how popular it was as well with people.
Big time, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge. And it's funny, like myself and Brian were talking about before, that like it's nearly coming to the end of my song could nearly be the first time people could have time to applause.
That is actually
and
you're
literally like, nope, Steve, let's keep going. So I can't really like stop and milk it, and then it's like, no, let's keep going.
I find it easier to remember lyrics than remember dialogue. So I suppose all singing shows should be the kind of ones I should target a little bit more often. It's just, I seem to occupy, it must be a left brain, right brain thing. I seem to occupy a different space in my mind when it comes to learning stuff. But again, I was so lucky. It didn't take long for me to come back up to speed with what I had already, and like, you know, so, which is great. But it's a phenomenal undertaking in the pit as well, you know, and on the stage and backstage. And the chorus, my goodness.
This one was tough. There was a lot of logistics with it, I suppose. Just trying to get everything right. The set is quite big, the stage is quite small. Anyone that knows the Theatre Royal. And Ben Hennessy, super as always, but Ben doesn't do small.
No.
So we're kind of working around that. It's a bit of a challenge, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
It's great that the houses have been so good.
Oh my God, yes. We're 2 shows in, getting ready to hit the stage for the 3rd, and the audiences the last 2 nights have just been absolutely fantastic. When you hear somebody in the audience say, wow, when the curtain is going down, that says something. That says, oh, we got it right. We did something, you know, we did it right. We did it right.
Now, one of the reasons I called you, Paul, is you'd have, I suppose, a tenuous enough family connection to Evita in Waterford, wouldn't you? Because the last time that a snippet of it, and a sizable snippet was done.
It was in at the tops of the town back in the 70s, and I can remember it because I would have been pretty young then. I remember it though. It was, I think the title of the piece was A Glimpse of Evita.
That's it, yeah.
At the time, AC/DC Variety Group put it on. And the fact of the matter was, this hadn't even appeared on the stage anywhere, West End or anywhere else. At that time, my own dad, Denny, got an album called Evita, the soundtrack. I think he might have purchased it in Since at the time. And he brought it home, and he was looking for something to do. Superstar, I think, had been done a year or 2 beforehand, and there was a new Lloyd Webber musical coming out. Well, can we do that? Sure. How can we do it? It hasn't been on. What do we look at? Sure, we'll interpret it ourselves, and they did.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because I'm involved with this one here, and they weren't too far out with the staging.
That's the local legend. That's that they were
as to
close
what
enough.
the actual show was, you know. They staged it similarly. You know, they got the gist of it. They knew what they were. They kind of got the concept of it, Wayne.
I'd say, I suppose, it's not difficult from one point in that it's been a very enjoyable process, but difficult from a time-consuming point of view, because there's obviously a significant amount of singing and harmonies to learn, there's choreography to learn, there's putting all those together. So it's been, from a time-consuming point of view, it's been a lot, but it's been a hugely enjoyable process at the same time.
Like that marbling technique is like I heard someone saying during the rehearsal, like I had one piece, I think it was the top, so it was one of the smallest little pieces. And he said, oh, it's like a little abstract painting, that'd look great in my house. And like, it made me kind of think that every surface, so there's like 39 different paintings, if you like,
when you think about it,
within it to make the whole kind of thing. And I suppose that kind of marbling thing is something I've maybe done before. I've never done this particular, that kind of the gold with the greys. And you know, as a painter, it's nice to be doing things like that as well.
Yeah, something different as well. Yeah, exactly. Like, because you started painting, didn't you, before you got into design and things like that. That was your origin story.
Yeah,
more,
I
so
still think of myself as a painter who does theatre stuff.
One thing that struck me as the week went on, one part of the show that I would be utterly terrified. How does it feel standing on a balcony that's rolling slowly towards an open pit?
Honestly, it's not as bad as it sounds. If you described it to me, I would have been terrified. But being up there, you just have to trust everyone involved. And when you can trust everyone involved, you know they have a good head on their shoulders. Like Jamie Dundon, I'd say his arms are killing him from pulling it back and forth. Yeah. But he did a brilliant job in making sure that it was steady and sturdy. And we were like, you know, we're not shaking on it, you know. So, yeah, I was grand with it. Like I said, do it all over again.
I don't think the satisfaction will come in until the end of the run, purely down to the fact of you finish it once, but then you go, we have to do it again, and again,
and again,
and again.
And mind yourself.
Absolutely. That alone has been one of the craziest things, because not that I don't look after myself when I do other things, but like nothing can quite prepare you for how drained you are after this show.
From back when I suppose I started getting interested and involved in musicals, the likes of Evita, and that would have been the stuff that was popular and relatively new at the time, I suppose. So it would have been always one that we never would have had the opportunity to do, I suppose, when we were starting out. So it's great to revisit some of these classics.
I can't underestimate what an all-round effort this has been.
From everyone.
Oh, it's been terrific.
Yeah.
And the audiences have been great. It's been very well received. Got some lovely feedback in social media the last few nights, which is incredibly encouraging.
Yeah.
And, you know, the most important adjudicators are the people who come in and pay their money here. Yeah. And, you know, if they're clapping at the end,
agree more.
It's a terrific reflection on what we've all done together. And it's been a pleasure from start to finish.
Let's hear it for the wave of glory. Been an incredible success. We weren't quite sure, we had a few doubts. Would it be till we knew? But the answer is yes.
It was true. There was a cohort of people, fans of the tops of the town, that would take up the gallery, or the gods as they call it at the time, and they were there at every show. And they were the people, they were the adjudicators as such for the lads. Sometimes they knew more than the adjudicators, but that's another day, an argument for another day. But I think Denny was stopped going out and he said, Denny, that was a great show. I won't name who it was, but it was a lady, she'd be well known, and I think she's well past now, but she said it was great. except for that thing he did about Hitler's wife. She said, what's that? He said, that thing about Hitler's wife, the musical. She said, Eva Braun. No, that wasn't that.
Eva Braun, yeah.
Or Eva Braun, yeah.
There was a brilliant comment passed last night by Fergal Kavanagh's wife, Fergal being the Ames president. And she spoke to Paula and she said, when an actress dies on stage, you kind of go, oh, sugar. But she just said, you died magnificently. And I thought that was such a compliment. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was very, very good. And Paula kind of was very emotional, as she is every night coming off the stage, because it is a massive undertaking for her, like, and she's doing just a magnificent job. She really is. Really, really is.
Karen, that's the perfect place to leave it. Thanks a million. You better go up and get ready now.
No bother, Wayne. Thank you.
Beautify yourself.
Thanks.